Hey, welcome back to Ferrigno Freedom Channel. I'm Dante Ferrigno. I've been on a carnivore diet now for a little over 3 years, and it has just been the best thing that's ever happened to me. One of the things that I started doing that I didn't do before I started eating a carnivore way of eating was working in the kitchen, because it was just something that I never liked to do. I was not somebody who liked to cook. I was addicted to the convenience path, fast food, microwavables, something you can buy that's already made and put in a pot or put it in the microwave and heat it up yourself. But ever since I've gone to a carnivore way of eating, I've started to use a lot more of my kitchen equipment. I've talked a lot about using the air fryer in the past, but there are other options for cooking, and I know that air frying isn't for everybody. Today, I am gonna make a rib roast in my oven, a chuck roast in the slow cooker, a picanha on skewers on my outdoor grill. And in the air fryer, I'm gonna have some New York strip steak, and I'm gonna cook one on cast iron. And because this is a Lion Diet recipe, I of course will only be using Redmond real salt. I'm gonna let this brine for an hour, and then we're gonna put it in the slow cooker. All right, so now I'm gonna stick this in the refrigerator for an hour and let it brine. Then I'm gonna take some of my favorite Redmond smoked salt. Today I have cherry loaded in my grinder. Sometimes when you're cooking a steak with these, the kosher size is a little too big, so I set my grinder to the highest setting, and then I'll just coat it with it. This size meat, I'd say about 14 turns on each side should be enough. Here, a lot of people like to use butter in their rub to help get that crusty surface on the prime rib. I'm going to use Wagyu beef tallow instead of butter. I'm using the Redmond Chef blend of smoked salt. So I'm going to start off by coating this thing with plenty of salt. Now in this case, I'm leaving the ribs on. Some people cook these with the ribs off and separately. I used about 1.25 ounces of salt in this case. Now we got to get some Wagyu beef tallow. Come in here for a closer look at how it looks. You can see I got it nice and covered with both salt and Wagyu beef tallow. Then I'm going to preheat my oven to 500 degrees. And that'll give me time to do some calculations. This roast was 5.62 pounds. So 5.62 times 5, and that's 28.1 minutes. So we're going to use 28 minutes to cook this at 500 degrees, and then I'm going to let it cook for those 28 minutes. After the 28 minutes is over, all I'm going to do is turn the oven off as I let it sit in the oven for 2 hours while it gets to the perfect temperature. And then we're put it into the slow cooker. Set it on low. I also want to put a temperature probe in there because I've noticed these slow cookers, especially these cheap slow cookers like I'm using here, a little Walmart brand cheap crock pot, it'll very easily get the meat well over 200 degrees. So I'm gonna use my Meter Plus. Go ahead and get my app ready. We'll go ahead and set up cook. All right, so we got roast, we got a chuck. It's got fall apart setting. Start cook. So I wanna go in here because I don't wanna go through the fat center piece here. Stick it in past the line. There we go. I'm also going to add a little bit of Wagyu beef tallow to this to add a little bit of flavor. we go. It's been about a minute now, so I'm going to set my timer on here for 28 minutes. 28. Start. Alright, now I got all the skewers done. I'm going to add a little bit more salt to cover the areas that didn't get any salt when I had put them on earlier. The oven itself is off, but we're keeping the heat that's inside the oven to allow that meat to cook like it's supposed to. It's saying 5 hours and 31 minutes, but I'm betting it's going to take a lot less time than that. It's going a lot faster, just like I expected it would. And you can see the Wagyu beef fat has melted into the meat, so it's just getting it ready for some deliciousness. Alright, so we're up to 600 degrees now, so I want to get this ready so I can put these on fast. I'm using a meter glove here so that I don't burn my hands when I'm picking these things up. Looks like we can do about 3 at a time. And we'll wait 3 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and open up this top here. Really let the air flow. These two are actually pretty much done. I'm just going to flip them over so they can cook a little more on the other side. Just a few seconds on that side is going to be good to get them seared a little better. Alright, I'm back with the plate, so let me check and see where we are now. But those are cooked to the temperature I would like, and they came out looking delicious. Alright, so half the time I thought. We'll try to flip these at about 1.5 minutes this time. So, they look fantastic. And good. Oh my goodness. That is so fantastic, it should be a crime. I think the result came out fantastic. Put a little Wagyu beef tallow on the side that I'm going to cook it on, and then I'll put some on top too. While I wait for that to get warm, I'm going to go ahead and get the shovel maker ready. Stick the probe into the thickest part of the meat. And it's calculating and doing its thing. Throw this steak on there. This is only my second time cooking with cast iron, so we'll see if I can do a good job of this one. Last time I overdid it with the heat. Alright, it's been another 1.5 minutes. I'm going to do the side here. I got 34 minutes left on that chuck roast. So everything's coming together at the same time. It's really amazing trying to do all this at once. There was a time I couldn't have done any one of these things except maybe the air fryer without any difficulty, and I'm finding ways to cook things I've never cooked before. I haven't cooked anything in the oven, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that prime rib comes out. I better turn on my fan. Turn that heat down. We'll just turn it off now. 120 is good enough. We'll go ahead and take it off now. Let you get a look at it. If you like those dark sear marks, this is a great way to go. It's never my favorite thing to have those dark sear marks myself, but we'll find out. Let's cut into it and see how it looks. This is a good result. I love it. All right, let's see how it tastes. What'd you expect? It wasn't gonna be good? Let's see how it came out. Doesn't that look good? $135. Boy, that's perfect. That's right in that medium range. I'm excited to see what we got here. Let's take it apart. It's got a really nice crust on it. Exactly what I was hoping for. There we go. Look at that. This is juicy as you could ask for. We'll start with this fat piece on the end. Each piece is just so soft and delicious and moist. The exterior's got that crispy, crusty edge. Oh, it's fantastic. God, life is great when you're a carnivore. This is fantastic though. Fantastic. Oh yeah. And there we go, we got removed from heat, so I'm going to turn it down to warm. Whoa, doesn't that look good? Oh wow. Let's see how it does as far as the mouthfeel. Tender and juicy, it's not overcooked. That's something I used to see a lot. That it didn't used to happen on that machine, but recently I've been seeing when I cook in there for a long period of time on low, it comes out overcooked. I can't imagine what it would be like if I tried it on high. It is perfect in my mouth. I mean, the tenderness is great. It's not rough on my teeth. It's not getting stuck between my teeth. It's juicy. As I usually find with slow cooked meat, it could use just a little more salt to taste. But I'm happy. But as far as the way it looks coming out, it's fantastic. All right, let's see how this looks. Oh, as usual, Chef Maker makes it perfect. Let's see how it tastes. Juicy and delicious, crispy on the outside. Really couldn't ask for much more. So amazingly, in one day I was able to pull off something I never thought I could do any one of, for the most part, except cooking a steak in the air fryer, which I did just fine. But I also cooked a steak on cast iron. I cooked picanha kebabs on the charcoal grill. I had a rib roast in the oven and a chuck roast in this crock pot. All done. Everything came out perfect and delicious. What more could you ask for? I'm telling you, man, it is great being a carnivore. If you guys got any questions or comments, please be sure to put them in the comment section and I'll try to get to them as quickly as I can. Until then, I'll see you guys next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?